Hey there, you're looking kind of cute. Don't forget to subscribe and check out all my other socials. Enjoy. When the clock showed the last minute, the halls of Westwood High were full of noise and movement. The bell rang, telling the students school was over. Students quickly left their classrooms, happy to leave after a long day. In the middle of the busy hallway, a thin boy was struggling with his locker in the science area. He wore messy clothes and was easy to notice. His hands shook as he worked the lock. Then he stopped because he heard someone behind him. He knew the voice right away. There we have it. The person had brown hair brushed back and cold gray eyes. He stared straight at the boy. "Got my money, Marty?" Marty clutched his chemistry book tighter against his chest. His glasses slipped down his nose as he shook his head. I already gave you $20 last week. That was last week's fee. This is a new week." Ryan stepped closer, his sneakers squeaking against the polished floor. "Fork it over." "I don't have any money. My mom only gives me enough for—" Ryan's fist connected with the locker beside Marty's head. The metal rang out like a bell. Several students hurried past, keeping their heads down. "Find some. Please, I need to eat lunch tomorrow." "Not my problem." Ryan grabbed Marty's backpack strap and yanked him forward. "Empty your pockets." Marty's hands shook as he turned them inside out. A few crumpled dollar bills and some change fell to the floor. Ryan scooped them up and counted. $3.50? That's it? "That's all I have, I swear." The sound of high heels clicking on linoleum made them both turn. Holly Chen approached in her red and white cheerleader uniform, her long black hair pulled into a high ponytail. Her brown eyes narrowed as she took in the scene. "Really, Ryan? Still shaking down freshmen for lunch money?" "Stay out of this, Holly." Ryan pocketed the cash. "This doesn't concern you." "Everything you do concerns me when you're terrorizing innocent students in my school." "Your school?" Ryan laughed. "Since when do you own Westwood?" "Since I became head cheerleader and student council vice president." She crossed her arms over her chest. "Let him go." "Or what? You'll sick the pep squad on me?" Holly stepped between Ryan and Marty. Despite being several inches shorter, she didn't back down. "No, I'll tell Coach Morrison you've been skipping weight training to harass students. Pretty sure that'll get you benched for Friday's game." Ryan's jaw clenched. The big game against Riverside was crucial for college scouts. He couldn't afford to miss it. Whatever. He shoved past Holly, his shoulder bumping hers. "This isn't over, nerd." After Ryan stalked off, Holly turned to Marty. He was gathering his scattered books from the floor, his face red with embarrassment. "You okay?" "Yeah, thanks." Marty adjusted his glasses. "You didn't have to do that." "Yes, I did." Holly helped him pick up a notebook. "Ryan's been out of control lately. Ever since his dad lost his job, he's been taking it out on everyone else. That doesn't give him the right to steal from people." "No, it doesn't." Holly slung her red gym bag over her shoulder. "Come on, I'll give you a ride home." "You don't have to." "I insist. My car's in the north lot." They walked through the emptying hallways in companionable silence. Marty kept glancing at Holly as if he couldn't believe the most popular girl in school was voluntarily spending time with him. "Why are you being so nice to me?" Holly pushed open the exit door. "Because someone needs to stand up to bullies like Ryan, and because you remind me of my little brother." "Oh." Marty's shoulders sagged slightly. "That's not a bad thing. My brother's pretty cool." She unlocked her white Honda Civic. "Plus, I know what it's like to be picked on. Before I joined the cheer squad, I was just another target." "Really? But you're so... popular? Confident?" Holly started the engine. "That took work and good friends. Speaking of which, you should join Drama Club. They're a great group and they don't tolerate bullying." "I don't know. I'm not really the acting type." "You don't have to act. They need people for tech crew, costumes, all sorts of things." She pulled out of the parking space. "Where do you live?" "Maple Street, the blue house with the broken mailbox." "I know the one." Holly turned onto the main road. "Think about Drama Club, okay? It might help you find your confidence." They drove in comfortable silence, the radio playing softly. When Holly pulled up to Marty's house, he hesitated before getting out. "Thanks again, for everything." "Anytime," Holly smiled. "And Marty, don't let Ryan get to you. Bullies only have power if you give it to them." Marty nodded and headed inside. Holly watched until he was safely through the door, then drove back toward school. She had unfinished business with Ryan Mitchell. She found him in the parking lot, leaning against his beat-up red Camaro and scrolling through his phone. His football buddies had already left. "We need to talk." Ryan looked up, annoyed. "I thought I told you to stay out of my business. And I thought I told you to stop being a jerk." Holly reached into her red gym bag. "But since you won't listen to reason, what are you doing?" Holly pulled out a small glass vial filled with shimmering pink powder. The late afternoon sun caught the particles, making them sparkle like tiny stars. "Giving you a chance to see things from a different perspective. Is that supposed to be some kind of threat?" Ryan pushed off from his car. "What is that stuff anyway? Glitter?" "Something like that." Holly uncapped the vial. "You know, Ryan, I used to think there was good in you. When we dated, I saw glimpses of who you could be, but you've chosen to be cruel instead. Spare me the after-school special lecture." "This isn't a lecture. It's a wake-up call." Holly threw the powder directly at Ryan's face. The pink dust clouded around him, getting in his eyes and nose. He coughed and sputtered, waving his hands to clear the air. "What the hell, Holly? Are you insane?" "Changes are coming, Ryan. Big changes. Maybe when you walk in someone else's shoes, you'll learn some empathy." "You're crazy." Ryan wiped his face with his jacket sleeve, leaving pink streaks on the black leather. "Whatever weird prank this is, it won't work. We'll see." Holly capped the empty vial and dropped it back in her bag. "Have a nice evening, Ryan. Or should I say, Roxy?" "Roxy, what kind of—" But Holly was already walking away, her ponytail swinging with each step. Ryan shook his head, sending more pink particles floating through the air. His eyes still stung, and he could taste something sweet on his lips. Whatever that powder was, it better not stain his jacket. He climbed into his Camaro and adjusted the rearview mirror. Pink dust clung to his eyebrows and hair, making him look ridiculous. He'd have to shower as soon as he got home. The engine rumbled to life, and Ryan peeled out of the parking lot. As he drove, a strange tingling sensation spread across his skin. He cranked up the air conditioning, but it didn't help. His whole body felt warm and itchy. At a red light, he tugged at his jacket collar. Was it getting tighter? The leather seemed to be pressing against his chest in a way it never had before. He unzipped it part way, letting in some air. The light turned green, and Ryan accelerated. But when he went to shift gears, his hand missed the stick shift entirely. He frowned and tried again, this time gripping it successfully. His spatial awareness felt off somehow. By the time he turned onto his street, Ryan had to adjust his seat. He couldn't reach the pedals properly, which made no sense. He'd had the same seat position for 2 years. He pulled into the driveway of his modest 2-story house. The gray siding needed paint, and the lawn was overgrown. His dad's truck was gone, probably at another failed job interview. Ryan grabbed his backpack and headed inside. The tingling sensation had spread to his scalp now, making him want to scratch his head constantly. "Roxy, is that you?" His mother's voice called from the kitchen. Ryan froze in the entryway. Roxy? Why would she call him that? "Mom? Dinner's almost ready, sweetie. I made your favorite, spaghetti and meatballs." Ryan walked to the kitchen, confused. His mother stood at the stove in her waitress uniform from the diner, her graying hair pulled back in a bun. She glanced over her shoulder and smiled. "How was school today?" "It was fine." Ryan set down his backpack. "Mom, why did you call me Roxy?" "What do you mean?" She stirred the sauce. "That's your name, honey. Are you feeling okay?" "My name is Ryan." His mother turned around fully, concern creasing her face. "Roxy, you're scaring me. Did something happen at school? Did someone hurt you?" "No, Ryan touched his forehead. The tingling was getting worse. "I think I need to lie down." "Go rest. I'll call you when dinner's ready." She returned to cooking, muttering about teenage hormones. Ryan climbed the stairs to his room, each step feeling strange. His legs seemed shorter somehow, throwing off his usual rhythm. When he reached his door, he hesitated. The wooden sign that usually read Ryan's room now said Roxy's room in purple letters. Inside, everything was different. His NFL posters were gone, replaced by band posters and motivational quotes. His black bedspread had become pink and white stripes. Even his dumbbells had vanished, leaving empty space where his workout corner used to be. What is happening? Ryan stumbled to the mirror on his closet door and gasped. His reflection was wrong. His face looked softer, more delicate. His hair seemed lighter, taking on a golden hue where the pink dust had settled. Even his gray eyes appeared larger. He touched his cheek, and the reflection copied the movement. This was real. Somehow, impossibly real. The tingling intensified, spreading through his entire body like fire. Ryan collapsed onto the bed, his bed that smelled like vanilla instead of cologne. His muscles cramped and shifted beneath his skin. His jacket felt impossibly tight across his chest while hanging loose at his shoulders. "Make it stop," he whispered, but his voice cracked halfway through. Exhaustion crashed over him like a wave. The room spun, colors blending together. Ryan's eyes fluttered closed as his body continued its impossible transformation. Hours passed in a haze of dreams. He saw himself from outside his body, watching as his frame shrank and reformed. His muscles smoothed away, replaced by softer curves. His hair grew past his shoulders, turning the pale gold of summer wheat. Even his clothes shifted, the black leather becoming a pink denim jacket, the dark jeans lightening to white. When consciousness finally returned, morning sunlight streamed through unfamiliar curtains. Ryan... No, that name felt wrong now. She sat up slowly, her head spinning. Oh, God! The voice that emerged was high and feminine. She scrambled to the mirror and stared at her reflection. A teenage girl stared back, with long blonde hair tangled from sleep and wide gray eyes. The pink denim jacket hung open over a white tank top, and her white jeans hugged legs that were definitely not masculine. This can't be real. But the reflection moved when she did, spoke when she did. She touched her face, her hair, her radically different body. Everything felt real, solid, permanent. A knock at the door made her jump. "Roxy, you're going to be late for school." School? How could she go to school like this? Everyone would know. They'd all see that she used to be... But the thought slipped away like water. Trying to remember being anyone other than Roxy gave her a headache. She knew intellectually that she'd been different yesterday, but the details grew fuzzier by the second. "I'm up, Mom." The words came naturally, as did the movements of getting ready. She brushed her long blonde hair, applied lip gloss she found on the dresser, and grabbed a white purse that presumably belonged to her. Her backpack was pink now, decorated with patches and pins. Downstairs, her mother had set out breakfast. Everything felt simultaneously foreign and familiar, like déjà vu in reverse. "There's my girl." Her mom kissed her forehead. "Are you feeling better? You seemed confused last night." "Yeah, I'm okay now." "Good. Holly called earlier. She said she'd pick you up for school." "Holly?" Roxy's stomach dropped. Holly had done this. The pink powder, the transformation. But why? A car horn honked outside. Through the window, Roxy saw the white Honda Civic. "Have a good day, sweetie?" Roxy grabbed her backpack and headed outside, her new body moving with unconscious grace. Holly leaned against her car in the same red and white cheerleader uniform, but her smile held secrets. "Morning, Roxy. Love the outfit." "Holly, what did you do to me?" "I gave you a gift." Holly opened the passenger door. A chance to understand what it's like to be vulnerable, to be afraid, to be different. "Change me back." "I can't. The powder only works once, and only in one direction." Holly's expression softened slightly. "But this doesn't have to be bad, Roxy. You can choose who you want to be now. You can be better." Roxy slumped into the passenger seat. Her reflection in the side mirror showed a pretty blonde girl with tears threatening to spill. This was her life now. Somehow, she had to accept that. The drive to school passed in tense silence. Roxy stared at her manicured nails, at her smaller hands, at everything that was wrong and different and permanent. When they pulled into the parking lot, her heart raced. "Everyone will know." No, they won't. Holly parked in her usual spot. As far as the world is concerned, you've always been Roxy Mitchell. Only you and I remember anything different. Why? Why would you do this? Because Ryan needed to learn a lesson. And maybe Roxy can be the person Ryan never could be. Holly grabbed her gym bag. Come on, I'll walk you to class. They entered through the main doors, and Roxy braced for stares, whispers, pointing fingers, but students passed by without a second glance. A few girls waved at her. A boy held the door. Roxy, there you are! She turned to see Marty approaching, but he looked different too. He stood taller, his green t-shirt fitted instead of baggy. His glasses were stylish black frames, and his smile radiated confidence. Hey, I saved you a seat in chemistry. Ms. Peterson is giving a pop quiz. Marty? Roxy stared at him. You look... different? Yeah, drama club has been amazing for my confidence. Thanks for convincing me to join last month. He adjusted his backpack straps. We better hurry. You know how Peterson gets when people are late. Last month? But yesterday, Marty had been terrified, hunched over, victim to someone who no longer existed. Right. Chemistry. Roxy followed him down the hall, her white sneakers silent on the linoleum. Holly fell into step beside them. I'll catch up with you guys at lunch. Roxy, we're still on for shopping after school, right? Shopping? Roxy had no memory of making plans, but apparently this new life came with its own history. Sure. Great. See you later. Holly peeled off toward the gym. Marty chatted about an upcoming drama production as they walked. Roxy half listened, overwhelmed by the normalcy of it all. Her locker combination came to her automatically. Inside were textbooks she recognized but had never seen, photos of friends she knew but had never met. You okay? Marty touched her shoulder gently. You seem kind of out of it today. Just tired, I guess. Well, wake up before Peterson's quiz. She's been on a warpath lately. He grinned. Though you usually ace her tests anyway. Benefits of actually studying, right? They entered the chemistry classroom together. Students looked up and waved. A few called out greetings. Roxy found herself responding automatically, muscle memory for a life she'd never lived. She slid into a desk near the window, Marty taking the seat beside her. Outside, she could see the parking lot where yesterday Ryan had threatened this same boy. Now they were friends, study partners, equals. All right, class, clear your desks. Ms. Peterson strode in carrying a stack of papers. Pop quiz time. Groans echoed through the room. Roxy accepted her paper and stared at the questions. Somehow, she knew the answers. Knowledge that Ryan had ignored or forgotten surfaced easily in Roxy's mind. As she worked through the problems, a strange peace settled over her. Yes, this was wrong. Yes, Holly had violated something fundamental about choice and identity. But Marty was smiling instead of cowering. Her mother had looked happy this morning instead of stressed about her son's behavior. Even her own mind felt clearer, unburdened by the anger and pain Ryan had carried. Maybe Holly was right. Maybe Roxy could be better. The quiz ended and classes continued. Each period brought new revelations about her life. She was a good student, involved in activities, liked by teachers. The friends who greeted her seemed genuine, not the shallow followers Ryan had commanded through fear. At lunch, she found herself sitting with Holly, Marty, and several other students she recognized but didn't know. They welcomed her warmly, including her in conversations about everything from homework to weekend plans. So, Roxy, a girl in a blue sweater said, are you going to Tyler's party on Saturday? I haven't decided yet. You should totally come. It's going to be super low-key, just movies and pizza at his house. The girl, Amanda, Roxy's mind supplied, smiled encouragingly. His parents will be there, so it's not going to be some crazy thing. That sounds nice. Great, I'll text you the details. Amanda returned to her salad. The ease of it all disturbed Roxy. These people genuinely liked her, wanted to spend time with her. As Ryan, parties had been about dominance, about maintaining status. This felt different, real. After school, Holly drove them to the mall. Roxy found herself trying on clothes, chatting about teachers, living this life that wasn't hers but increasingly felt like it was. Her reflection in store mirrors showed a pretty blonde girl who smiled more easily than Ryan ever had. "This is weird for you. I get that." Holly held up a green sweater against Roxy. "But you're adapting better than I expected." "Do I have a choice?" "There's always a choice. You could be miserable, fight against it, make everyone around you unhappy." Holly returned the sweater to its rack. "Or you could embrace it, be the person you never let yourself be before." Ryan wasn't what? Happy? Kind? Fulfilled? Holly met her eyes. "I dated him, remember? I saw how miserable he was, how that misery poisoned everything he touched. You don't have to carry that anymore." Roxy turned back to the mirror. The girl looking back had possibilities Ryan had rejected. Friendships based on mutual respect, academic success, a future unburdened by toxic masculinity and rage. "I can't forgive you for this," she said quietly. "I'm not asking for forgiveness. I'm asking you to make the best of it." Holly picked up a pair of white jeans. "These would look cute on you." They shopped until the mall closed, Roxy's resistance slowly crumbling. Each purchase felt like accepting her new reality. Each laugh with Holly felt like betraying who she used to be. But who she used to be had hurt people, had stolen lunch money and thrown punches and made the hallways unsafe for kids like Marty. That night, Roxy lay in her pink-striped bed and stared at the ceiling. Her blonde hair spread across the pillow like silk. Her body felt foreign, but not uncomfortable. Her mind held memories of two lives, one fading while the other solidified. Her phone buzzed. A text from Marty. "Thanks for helping me with chemistry today. You're a great friend." Friend. Ryan had never been anyone's friend. He'd had followers, victims, and enemies. But friends required equality, trust, and genuine care. Roxy typed back, "Anytime. That's what friends do." And maybe that was enough. Maybe being Roxy meant being free from Ryan's anger, his fear, his desperate need to control others. Maybe this softer existence was its own form of strength. She closed her eyes and let sleep take her. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, new experiences in this life she hadn't chosen. But choice was what you made of circumstances, not just the circumstances themselves. The morning came too soon. Roxy's alarm played pop music instead of heavy metal, another small reminder of her transformation. She dressed carefully in the green sweater and white jeans Holly had helped her choose, then spent time on her hair and makeup. These rituals felt both foreign and natural, like speaking a language she'd always known but never used. Downstairs, her mother hummed while making breakfast. The kitchen smelled like coffee and cinnamon rolls. "Morning, sweetie. You look nice today." "Thanks, Mom." Roxy accepted a plate. "Is Dad?" "Job hunting. He left early to drop off applications." Her mother's smile was tired but hopeful. "He seems more optimistic lately. Says he wants to set a better example for his daughter." Daughter. The word hit differently now. Ryan's relationship with his father had been strained, full of unspoken expectations about strength and masculinity. But a daughter? That changed the dynamic entirely. "I hope he finds something." "Me too, honey. Me too." School brought its own revelations. In English class, Roxy discovered she was part of a group project with 3 other girls. They'd apparently been working on a presentation about symbolism in modern literature for weeks. "I love your sweater," one of them, Melissa, said. "That color is perfect on you." Holly helped me pick it out. "She has great taste. Are you two getting back together?" Roxy nearly choked on her water. "What? Oh, sorry, I thought—" "Never mind." Melissa looked embarrassed. "I just thought since you've been hanging out so much lately—" "We're just friends." But the implication lingered. Had Roxy and Holly dated in this reality? The thought made her head spin. Ryan had dated Holly, but that relationship had ended badly. If Roxy had dated her too, she couldn't think about it. Too many layers of complexity in an already impossible situation. The project work proved easier than expected. Roxy's mind contained knowledge and opinions that flowed naturally onto paper. Her group members listened when she spoke, valued her input, treated her as an equal contributor. At lunch, she found herself sitting with the drama club kids. Marty had saved her a seat, his smile bright and welcoming. "How's the English project going?" "Good. We're almost done with the PowerPoint." Roxy unwrapped her sandwich. "How's drama practice?" "Awesome. We're doing Our Town for the fall play. I'm running lights." He practically glowed with enthusiasm. "You should audition. I bet you'd make a great Emily." "I don't act." "Neither did I until I tried." Marty's expression grew serious. "You know, joining drama was the best decision I ever made. It gave me confidence, friends, purpose. Sometimes taking a risk pays off." The parallel wasn't lost on Roxy. She was living a risk she hadn't chosen to take, but maybe the payoff was worth considering. After school, she found herself in an empty classroom with Holly. The cheerleader had asked to talk privately, and Roxy had reluctantly agreed. "I owe you more of an explanation," Holly began. "You think?" "The powder? It's not exactly normal. My grandmother gave it to me before she died. She said it was for emergencies only, when someone needed to learn a lesson they couldn't learn any other way." Holly sat on a desk, her legs swinging. "She used it once, back in the 60s, on a man who hurt her sister. And you decided Ryan deserved the same punishment?" "Not punishment. Opportunity." Holly's voice was earnest. "Ryan was spiraling. His anger was getting worse. Eventually he would have seriously hurt someone. Maybe Marty, maybe you." "Me?" "You don't remember, but in this reality, Ryan targeted you before you became Roxy. Called you names, shoved you into lockers, made your freshman year hell." Holly's eyes were sad. "That's how we met, actually. I stood up for you, and we became friends. Then more than friends. Then we broke up. You ended it. Said you needed to figure out who you were first." Holly laughed softly. Ironic, considering. Roxy processed this information. In this life, she'd been bullied by someone who no longer existed. She'd found strength, made friends, even explored romance, all the things Ryan had mocked in others. So what now? Now you live. You're free from Ryan's toxic patterns. You can be kind without seeming weak. You can be smart without being mocked. You can be yourself without fear. Holly hopped off the desk. The question is, who do you want that self to be? The question followed Roxy home. Who did she want to be? The automatic answer was Ryan, but that grew less true each hour. Ryan had been miserable, making others miserable in turn. Roxy had options Ryan had rejected. That evening, her father came home with good news. He'd gotten a call back for a warehouse position. The pay wasn't great, but it was steady work. "I want to do better," he told Roxy over dinner. "For you and your mother. I know I've been difficult lately, but seeing you thrive despite everything, it inspired me. Dad, I mean it. You're becoming such a wonderful young woman. Kind, smart, confident. I'm proud of you, Roxy." The praise hit unexpectedly hard. Ryan's father had never said such things, too caught up in his own struggles to notice his child. But a daughter apparently brought out different instincts. "Thanks, Dad. I'm proud of you too." After dinner, Roxy retreated to her room and stared at herself in the mirror. The blonde hair no longer looked wrong. The feminine features no longer seemed alien. Even the pink and white decor felt less jarring. Her phone buzzed. A text from Amanda about Saturday's party, with addresses and times. Another from Melissa about meeting early to practice their presentation. A third from Marty with a funny meme about chemistry class. Friends, real friends who cared about her, included her, valued her presence. Ryan had never experienced that. He'd been too invested in dominance to allow genuine connection. But Roxy could have this. Could be this. The person Holly's powder had created was free from Ryan's self-imposed limitations. Free to be vulnerable, kind, and whole. She picked up her phone and opened a new message to Holly. "I still don't forgive you, but maybe you were right. Maybe Roxy can be better than Ryan ever was." The response came quickly. "She already is." And maybe that was the truth. Maybe transformation wasn't just about the body, but about the soul. Maybe losing Ryan meant finding Roxy. and maybe that wasn't a loss at all. The days passed with increasing normalcy. Roxy's two sets of memories merged and blurred until she couldn't always distinguish between them. Had she always been friends with Marty, or was that new? Had she always aced chemistry, or was that recent? By Friday, the distinction mattered less. She was Roxy Mitchell, junior at Westwood High, decent student and loyal friend. The rest was just backstory. She stood in front of her mirror that morning, brushing her long blonde hair. The motions came naturally now, no longer requiring thought. Her outfit, a white blouse and blue skirt, felt right against her skin. "Big game tonight," her mother said over breakfast. "Are you going?" "Maybe. I'm not really into football." "Since when? You used to love the games." Another fracture between past and present. Ryan had lived for football, but Roxy felt only mild interest. The violence that had appealed to him held no attraction for her. "I might go with friends. We'll see." At school, game day energy filled the hallways. Players wore their jerseys, cheerleaders their uniforms. Holly caught up with her between classes. "You coming tonight?" "I don't know. Football's not really my thing." "Come anyway. It's more about hanging out than watching the game." Holly adjusted her red hair bow. "Besides, Marty's running the concession stand for drama club fundraising. He could use the support." "Using Marty to manipulate me?" Low blow. "Is it manipulation if it's true?" Holly grinned. "Think about it. A bunch of us are meeting at the mall food court before the game." The invitation felt genuine, free of the social politics Ryan had navigated. Roxy found herself nodding. "Okay, I'll be there." "Great. Wear something warm. It's supposed to get cold tonight." The rest of the day passed quickly. Teachers wished the team luck. Students made plans for after the game. Roxy felt swept along by the current of high school life, no longer fighting against it. At home, she dug through her closet for something warm. Her fingers found a white hoodie with the school logo, soft and comfortable. She pulled it on over her jeans and checked her reflection. The girl looking back seemed happy, relaxed in her own skin. "You look nice," her father said from the doorway. "Going to the game?" "Yeah, with friends." "Good, you deserve to have fun." He pulled out his wallet. "Here, for snacks or whatever." "Dad, you don't have to." "I want to. Things are tight, but my daughter shouldn't miss out because of my mistakes." He pressed a 20 into her hand. "Be safe. Call if you need a ride home." "Thanks, Dad." The mall food court buzzed with pre-game excitement. Roxy found her friends easily. Holly's red uniform stood out in any crowd. Amanda waved her over, scooting to make room at their table. "Perfect timing. We're debating whether to get pizza or Chinese." "Why not both?" Roxy suggested. "I like how you think." Melissa laughed. "Both it is." They shared food and gossip, the conversation flowing easily. Roxy contributed without forcing it, her opinions welcomed and validated. When Holly's hand briefly touched hers while reaching for an egg roll, she didn't pull away. "We should head out," Holly said eventually. "Kickoff's in 30 minutes." The group migrated to the stadium, joining the stream of students and families. Roxy breathed in the crisp evening air, heavy with the scent of popcorn and anticipation. The lights blazed against the darkening sky. "I'll catch up," she told the others. "I want to stop by the concession stand." She found Marty manning the cash register, a green drama club t-shirt over his usual clothes. His face lit up when he saw her. "Roxy, you came!" "Told you I would. How's business?" "Steady. We've already made half our fundraising goal." He gestured to the other drama kids working beside him. "This was a great idea. You seem happy." "I am." Marty's smile softened. "You know, a few months ago, I never would have imagined this. Being confident enough to talk to people, take their orders, be part of something. But you convinced me to try drama club, and everything changed. I'm glad." "Me too. Now go enjoy the game. I'll find you after." Roxy rejoined her friends in the bleachers. The crowd roared as the team took the field. She recognized some of the players, boys who had been Ryan's teammates, who now barely registered in her awareness. "There's Tyler!" Amanda pointed to number 12. "He looks good in uniform." "All boys look good in uniform," Melissa countered. "It's scientifically proven." They laughed and cheered, caught up in the collective energy. Roxy found herself enjoying it more than expected. Not the game itself, but the camaraderie, the shared experience, the simple joy of belonging. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to check out my other socials if you want more content, early access, behind the scenes, and more. All links down below.